Hi everybody, it's Chris Paton here, just to let you know that my next Pharos course, Researching Scottish Ancestral Crisis, is about to start shortly. The course is structured over 5 weeks and covers 5 particular topics, which are law and order, family events and relationships, poverty and debt, medical issues, and the state and the people. And what's the premise of the course? Well, whenever our ancestors were in trouble in the past, there was always somebody standing by with a pen and ink to record what happened. And there are all sorts of areas of ancestral crisis that have been well documented in the past, which can help us with our family history research. So for law and order, for example, we have the records of the church courts, we have the criminal courts, we have the civil courts, we have the courts of the boroughs and the trading corporations. So there's all sorts can happen there. Under family events and relationships, cover things like illegitimacy, foundlings, orphans, marriage and issues to do with marriage, homosexuality, and issues to do with when people have died, the aftermath of the death. It wasn't necessarily the case that when someone died, that was the end of the story. There may have been a lot of grief after they passed away to do with inheritance and things like that. Under poverty and debt, we do an in-depth look at the poor laws, which have looked at to some extent within a previous course, but in a much more detail in this one, and particularly within the boroughs and the records of poor relief that are available. And also questions about debt, why did people get into debt, types of records such as letters of warning, and warrants for people to be arrested and sent to prison until they paid up, that kind of thing. People going bankrupt through the cessio process or sequestration. I take a look at that. Under medical issues, people getting ill, all sorts of things to do with asylums, also areas that are a bit darker, things like suicide. How was that dealt with in the past in terms of the law, and things like that, hospital records, all that kind of stuff. And then the final lesson, the state and the people, is about them and us. So basically we're talking about things like the Covenanters, we're talking about the Jacobites, we're talking about the Highland clearances, and so on. So there are a lot of areas in the past where our ancestors may have got into difficulty or may have been the victims of other people's problems that they suffered from as well. And so we take a real in-depth look into these within this course, which I hope will help to flesh out your family history even further. So the course is 5 weeks long, and if you go to the Pharos website, pharostutors.com, you'll find details of when it's next due to run and the cost and how to register. So I hope you can join us for Researching Scottish Ancestral Crisis. There's a lot to cover, but I promise you it will help to enrich your family history research once you've completed that course. So hopefully I'll see you soon for the next session.